now hitting that live button. Should show up momentarily. It says we're live. Hopefully we're live. Welcome everyone. This is On Just Restart. I am joined by my friend Mandy from Mandy Lee Plays. Her channel.
Hello. Welcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Her channel is linked in the description below, and we're gonna be talking about Nintendo today. How you doing, Mandy? What's new?
I'm good. Just chilling. Been playing games and all that stuff. Nothing too serious. How about you, Mr. Full-Time YouTuber?
I'm trying. Got a long way to go, but I'm trying. You know, I have been playing Pokemon a lot lately. I'm trying to get to the end. I'm near the end game.
I actually finished it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took my time with it. I'm kind of glad I did because they patched the game and it's a little bit better now.
It's not better. It's the same.
Well, okay, it's still bad. It's still bad. We'll be talking about that later today. Yeah, the plan for the evening, guys, is to talk about that patch for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and we're also going to be talking about our final Game Awards predictions because the show is December 8th, this Thursday. We're going to be talking about what we may see at the show from Nintendo. We may go over some nominations that we may hope to win, maybe, and then we're also going to be talking about our thoughts on the Mario movie. Because we got another trailer and other little tidbits throughout the week, last week. And yeah, there's kind of like a decent amount to dissect there. We're going to be talking about all of that tonight, and then whatever you guys bring up in the chat, that's totally an option as well. So it's really, you know, sky's the limit. So but I anticipate this will be a pretty packed discussion. But yeah. I guess I'll just check with the chat here, and then we'll start jumping into things. So,
Hello, chat.
Zelda Fan Film Channel, hello. Nick D. Be sure to include something really nice and positive about Donkey Kong. I need this. Well, okay, sure. I'll say something. So I put out a video on Saturday talking about how I feel that there were elements of the Mario movie Direct that were very subtly hinting at a Donkey Kong game. Now,
yeah, I saw that video.
Thanks. Now, something I want to make clear, right? Because I noticed that there was certainly some people like making accusations, suggesting certain things. So, firstly, don't attack the video until you watch the video. That's my thing. So whenever someone in the comments like comes at me and is like, "Hey, you're an idiot," I'm like, "Listen, if you didn't watch the video,
you're an idiot too,
and you're making some sort of bold accusation upon my intelligence without watching the video, you're an idiot." Now that said, if you have something against my opinion, tell me what that is. Extrapolate upon it. Be intellectual about it. Actually make an argument and try to educate as opposed to just being a jerk. Because the reality situation is if you're just going to kind of boldly like make some sort of like negative statement, really that's just speaking ill of your own character, right? Like most people aren't just going to blindly attack someone without any sort of constructive criticism unless they're a terrible person or they got some other sort of issue that they're dealing with. That said, right, I'm totally okay with this Donkey Kong thing not being a legitimate teaser. Like, the point is, when I make a video, it's like, it's a talking point. It's not necessarily, this is what it has to be. It's, I'm bringing up an idea, I'm conveying the points that support the idea, ideas that may go against the idea, and then we talk about it. Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? And then we sort of dissect from that, right? Now, to the point about Donkey Kong itself, like, could there actually be some sort of hint to this? And I think it is, but I also think it's subtle. I don't think when Miyamoto came out and like talked about the Donkey Kong design that he was literally telling us, hey, exactly how this Donkey Kong looks, that's how this Donkey Kong is going to look in the next Donkey Kong game coming out next month. Like, no, I'm not saying that. But what I am trying to argue is that the sort of focus that they're giving Donkey Kong, the extra little bit of detail that they're giving to Donkey Kong, I do think it is them trying to make more people aware of who and what Donkey Kong is. I think they're trying to build up that IP. I think with the Donkey Kong expansion, the actual park that's going to be added to Nintendo Universal Studios, that's another way to do that. They're trying to build up the brand because they are preparing a Donkey Kong game. And when that Donkey Kong game comes out, they want it to perform really well. So Donkey Kong's presence in the movie, Donkey Kong's presence at Nintendo Universal Studios, those things I think are inherently teases in a subtle way for the Donkey Kong game, because because they are intentionally building these things up to further market this game when it does come out. It's not really even that crazy of an idea, because Nintendo's literally told us this is what they do. If you look at Nintendo's financial statements, they talk about with their investors every 3 or 4 months that they have this plan where they have their core games, and then they make mobile games, and then they make the movies and the theme parks and the merchandising, and all those things become popular because of the games. But they also bring in an even larger audience that come back and play the games, and it's very cyclical. That's their strategy, and that's kind of the core philosophy behind the video I made. If you want to disagree with that, for sure, go for it. But explain it. Tell me why. So that's kind of that. But anyways, the optimistic point of view on Donkey Kong is.
I want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think they're gonna make a Donkey Kong game eventually. So, like, yeah, seeing Donkey Kong there, people might be like, "Oh, I remember that monkey or something," and
exactly.
But I think they're just gonna make one eventually. I think the last one we got was Tropical Freeze.
Right.
So
and that
been
was
a few.
Right. Like they had the port that came out in 2018, but that was just a port. The actual game was made in 2014. So this is the end of 2022, right? So it's been 8 years. I think it's we're coming due. I think we're getting close to a new one. So yeah, I think that Nintendo's building up the brand, and that's ultimately what I mean by them teasing Donkey Kong, taking that moment to talk more about the character and sort of represent it to a whole new generation of Nintendo fans. Like, that is building up the brand, and in that way I think it's a tease, if that makes sense. I don't think they're necessarily teasing a mechanic of the game.
The whole movie could be a tease for another Mario game.
Another Mario game, maybe even the Donkey Kong movie, because there's a lot of Kongs in that trailer. We saw Diddy Kong, we saw Dixie Kong, Cranky Kong, Swanky Kong. It was crazy. Kitty Kong.
If it does good, they might do like a spin-off and,
I'm letting in my cat.
Do what universes do.
Yeah. There she is. Alright. Yeah, so there, Nick D, something positive about Donkey Kong. They're working on it. Alright, Chris Olsen. Ah, yes, just in time. I need something to relax and wind down with now. Well, I'm hoping that we can do just that. We can help you to relax and wind down. Sean Castle Singer, hello. Jaden Drysdale, hello there. E Primify, are you trying to upset me? Hey, Andreas. Well, I don't like the name Andreas, but you know what? It's fine. Go ahead. It's fine. That's not how
Andres.
It is Andres. It is Andres. I speculate that E Primify is intentionally saying Andreas to upset me. It's more like a
inside joke.
Like a tease, yeah. That's what I'm assuming. Or it could be an honest mistake, and if that's the case, that's okay. But if it's intentional, I got my eye on you. Anyway, Having Hope 5, hello there. Joycey J, hello. Jugs McGee, hello. Guys, say hello to Ruby.
Jugs.
She wanted to be in the
Oh, how cute.
How are you doing, baby girl? Alright, she's like, alright, cool. I just want to get up here. Alright. Amelia Olsen, hello there. Yeah, it's her tail. She's in the way. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, got a little bit of a chat bump here. I lost where we were at. It's your birthday, E Primify. Hello and happy birthday. Paco Salvador.
Happy birthday.
Hello. How are you? Oh, it'll be your birthday on the 8th, E Primify. Well, happy birthday on that day. Let's see here. Zelda Fan Film Channel. Thank you. That makes me feel a lot happier saying my name. Of course, that's a big part of the live streams. Like I just kind of, it's a good opportunity to kind of interact with you guys, for sure. Super Chris, hello there. Thank you for modding, buddy.
Chris.
Winkdeman07. Do you think we'll get a Mario game based on the movie? Okay, so yeah,
That's what I was saying.
Let's talk about that, Mandy. So I mean, what do you think? Do you think that Nintendo will make a game based off the movie, or maybe loosely based off the movie?
Well, the movie seems to have a lot of like old Mario setups.
Mhm.
You have Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
Something with Donkey Kong. They have a whole lot of stuff going on there. But yeah, they're gonna make a Mario game eventually. Yeah, because the Odyssey came out a while ago. Kind of need one.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm actually missing Mario.
You miss Mario. How about that? Isn't that adorable? I also miss... By the way, speaking of adorable, I just want to point out your little Christmas tree. I think it's really adorable. It's cool.
Ew.
Yeah.
My little gaming tree here.
That's cool. I'm peeping the little Korok pillow you have.
Oh yeah, him? I
Yeah.
picked them up at Best Buy. I was like, I have to take them.
They had it. Oh, okay, Best Buy makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, but going back to like this idea of a Mario game being based off the movie. To your point, right? Like they're showing a lot of stuff from previous Mario games. I think the idea behind that is just to kind of excite fans. It's fan service. Like they're not saying, oh, the next Mario game is gonna be Mario Kart plus 3D Mario together. No, that's not what they're saying. It's simply, oh, you're a fan of Mario. You've probably enjoyed certain elements of Mario, and we see these things in the movie. That's gonna allow you to relate to that, remember that, feel nostalgia for it, and get excited. That's the point of those different references. That said, I do think a Mario game is being prepared. Maybe two. I think there's got to be at least a three. I know for a fact that they're working on another 3D Mario because they always are.
You think that Mario will be voiced? I mean, he's voiced in the movie.
In the game, well,
they might say, okay, we'll voice him because...
I actually kind of liked how they handled voice acting in Odyssey. Like, some characters, when they talked, if they weren't human, they wouldn't really say anything that was like, like Bowser would talk, but it would be like, Mario, like kind of like that, which I actually like. Like, I think that's cool. Like, I don't need... For voice acting, what's important to me for voice acting isn't so much that the words I hear, I understand exactly. What's important to me for voice acting is that I get the feeling and I hear a language. Because I actually enjoy watching movies and shows in different languages, right? Like, I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware, I'm an anime fan, right? Like, I enjoy anime, and I usually watch anime in Japanese. But it's not just with anime, right? Like, there are movies, too, I'll watch in their original language. Like, for example, a great one that comes to mind is Pan's Labyrinth. I believe that's in Spanish. It's better in Spanish. I will never watch that in English. And I just read the subtitles.
Oh, okay. So you're a huge dub versus sub, or
I'm a very much watch the subtitles, listen to it, watch it in its original language. Just because I think that's where you usually get the best performance. There are exceptions. I'm not saying there can't be a good dub. There can.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, I tend to side towards that just because I just feel like it's easier for you to get the most feeling out of that, right? And I only bring it up to say, not to like discourage people from watching dubs per se, just that even if you don't necessarily understand the words, you hear the feeling. You get the intonations, and that, I think, makes a big difference. Like, because it's about a story, right? So you're trying to take that.
Yeah.
Now, when it's something like Mario, the story might not be as important, but I still think there's value in kind of hearing those voices, because it does add to, like, the immersion a little bit.
Like, Mario games and Zelda games do a good job of having that they don't need voice acting kind of vibe. Some games need voice acting, like Pokemon and a lot of JRPGs because I'm not reading all that text kind of vibe.
Yeah.
But Mario and Zelda do good on like not having the characters talk.
Yeah, and I mean
Though
it's interesting to think about that, right? Like, what design decisions do they come up with when they had that in mind? Because to your point, right? Like,
probably hardware limitations. And they were like, oh, let's just keep the momentum going.
well, I think it depends.
Let's be honest.
So like an RPG, right? RPGs tend to have really long cutscenes. So if it's just text you're sort of clicking through, I do think that can kind of take away. To your, like I sometimes struggle just like going through bodies and bodies of text. I kind of hate that. But if it's an actual
especially
like
when you
scene,
yeah, because there's scenes that go on forever. I'm just like, God dang it.
it
So-
requires effort for me to pay to like continue through. Like but so like, and you look at let's talk about Pokemon for a moment here. With Pokemon, something that they started doing. I think they kind of started this. I mean, they did start this with Sword and Shield, and now we're seeing it in Scarlet and Violet. Whenever there are cutscenes, the cutscenes are animated in a way where it looks like it's something straight out of an anime. And that's cool. I love that. There's like some pretty cool like action sequences. They feel kind of dynamic and fluid. It attracts my eye, and that's cool. But then you hear them talk, or no, you don't hear them talk. You see them talk, and it looks like they're mouthing off in actual sense. Like, it looks really believable. The only thing that throws it way out of proportion is that there isn't actually a voice to that. And that's kind of...
I've seen a lot of fan voice acting.
And it's great.
For the characters.
Yeah.
They're great. I'm like, why don't... Pokemon is like, I swear, it's a franchise that I love and hate at the same time.
Yeah. It is a little frustrating because I feel
the
like
cutscenes were good.
they're directing them as if you can talk.
Yeah, that was like, you're almost there. You're almost there. Oh god. Dang it.
Going back to your point about how like a lot of Mario and Zelda games, there's minimal talking, and the games are constructed with that in mind. But then you look at Pokemon cutscenes, the way they're made, it's like voice acting was made with that in mind, and then they don't put it in. So then when you see those cutscenes, you really feel the vacancy, and that bothers me.
Yeah, there's not even like sound effects or like a hey or a hi or something.
It's very mute.
It was just yeah.
Like not even little, exactly. Not even like little, like one word things or like sighs. Like they don't even do that. Like they just didn't want to hire a single voice actor.
I mean, that's the least of that game's problems, honestly.
Yeah, we'll circle back to that. But you know, I do kind of, but looking at like Mario and Zelda though, they more recently we've seen voice acting from them, but it's still not like a ridiculous amount. It's limited, but it, like for the Zelda ones, like the actual cutscenes, like the major ones, they have dialogue, and that I think that's a fine balance. I don't need every NPC to be voice acted like it is in Elder Scrolls. Like they don't have to do that. I don't expect that. Xenoblade does it really well. Where I mean, if it's not a major cutscene, they're not going to talk. But if it's a cutscene where there's story, there you go. That's fine. Now, I know we kind of went a little off track because I think the question was...
Yeah, we did.
Do you think we'll get a Mario game based on the movie? Bringing it back to that question. I think there will be a Mario game. I think they are working on it. This goes back to when I was talking about the Donkey Kong thing, how Nintendo's going to use the movies, the theme parks, the merchandise, and the mobile games to really like raise awareness for their IP, their games, and there will be a larger audience that will be more attracted to those games when they come out. So rest assured, this Mario movie is going to bring a greater level of attention to the Mario video game series. So Nintendo's very much aware of this, and I am relatively confident in saying that they know that they got to get a Mario game out relatively soon. Now, what does relatively soon mean? It could still be within 2 years. But I feel like there's a decent chance we could see the next 3D Mario by next Christmas. At least something
Not to
announced
be
by
like not to be a gatekeeper, but I'm kind of like broader audiences kind of scare me because it's like we all know what like happened to Pokemon and they branched out and now they don't even care about the games anymore. I really don't like it's really weird.
Yeah, now that's Game Freak though, right? Or Pokemon could be a Game Freak. That's like a whole other beast. Like Nintendo is still making the games the way they make their games. Like I don't think they're gonna rush out anything
Yeah,
for that.
hopefully.
They make sure that that what they're making is quality. I mean, to that point though, you know, Nintendo did issue somewhat of an apology for the issues in Scarlet and Violet. Like they announced that there was going to be a patch. They'd fix some things. There's still a number of things. It's an ongoing project, but they literally talked about how, hey, look, we take into, you know what? Let me just pull it up instead of just paraphrasing here.
I'm not thinking that a patch will solve the whole game's problem.
Not one.
But that frame rate, man.
Yeah. I know.
Feels like I'm moving in molasses.
Yo, it's
oof.
There. It depends. There are parts where it's smooth and then it like gets really jerky, and there are other parts that are just like ridiculous. So let me screen share here. Hopefully, nothing is working appropriately. I'm gonna make sure I can hear you on this setup, but it should work. So one moment here. It always does this. There, you should be able to see that. I believe you can still be heard. Say something for me, Mandy.
Hello?
Yep, you're still there. Great, cool. So they issued, I guess we're kind of jumping into the past conversation now. That's fine. So Nintendo of America on November 30th tweeted out a software update for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet version 1.10 will be released on December 1st. Please visit our website for more information. And then they say, we take the feedback from players seriously and will continue to work on improvements to the games. It's not the typical thing they always say. They usually, you know, don't say something that's significant. But I think they expand on that a little bit here on the actual site. Let's see.
It should have come from Game Freak, but it's fine.
Yeah, well, all right, here we go. So we are aware that players may encounter issues that affect the game's performance. Our goal is always to give players a positive experience within our games, and we apologize for the inconvenience. We take the feedback from players seriously and are working on improvements to the games. So this is not something that always is said. Nintendo doesn't do this. They usually don't have
Also,
to.
the games are broken.
Right, usually their games are very polished. And I actually, you know, I made a couple videos where I said this, and I think a lot of people will agree with this. What we're seeing from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is not representative of the Nintendo brand. Typically, Nintendo games are, if anything, they take too long with the games because they want to make sure that they're very polished. Like, you know, they don't rush their games. There are exceptions, Scarlet and Violet being one of them, but that's not something they usually don't like to let this happen. So the fact that they actually issued an apology here, I think that goes to show what Nintendo wants to stand for quality. So
yeah, but yeah. I'm just people in the chat is like, I'm not saying Pokemon or Game Freak doesn't care about Pokemon. I feel like the time constraint limits them to what they could do, because they have to churn out a Pokemon game like a lot. They could go with side games just to buy for time or other stuff like that, but they just choose to rush it out. I mean, I don't think it's a choice. They kind of had to, but I do think they care about Pokemon. It's just at this point, they just churn out a game every year without really. Because there's the element of caring in Scarlet and Violet. There's some good points. There's actually some really good stuff. Would have made the game great if it ran properly. So I do think they care about it. It's just time constraints, deadlines. I feel bad for the people who actually make the game.
Yeah.
They can't really
I agree with you.
You know.
Yeah, I think it was very clear that there was heart put into the game and the designs and the ideas, and that's the unfortunate part because the core experience is really good. The problem is that it's marred by a whole bunch of performance issues. So you know that is a problem. And I mean, I'm still enjoying the game. You were able to finish the game, right? Like, but it has a lot of issues. You know, I was in a section last night. I forget the name, but it's like this giant lake where one of the titans is, where there's like the big like whale fish and the little like sushi fish that kind of combine together. Like that part, I want, like objectively looking at it, I was like, wow, this looks really cool. I really want to enjoy this section, but I also had this urge to just get out of there as quickly as possible because everything, to your point from earlier, it felt like I was swimming through molasses. Like it just felt like it was moving really, really slow. And it occurred to me, oh, that's because the frame rate is chugging really, really bad in this section. And that's the kind of thing that comes down to massive performance issues. Because Scarlet and Violet, well, I think there's a lot of things in the game that graphically stand well above any previous Pokemon game. There's also a lot of things that don't. And it's just very clear that the game wasn't optimized. Like, it was rushed. They needed to get the game out by November. That was what they were told that needed to be done. And regardless of where they were at, it was coming out, and that sucks. I feel that what should be done, and I made a video about this last week, kind of talking about how to fix the quality problem with Pokemon and Game Freak, is that they need to go back to having 4-year generations. They haven't always, like, they've been doing 3-year generations for a while, and in the earlier parts it was also 3-year generations, but there was a little gap for generations 4 and 5 where we were seeing like 4-year generations. They should go back to that. Just 1 extra year can make a big difference. And they can still have games, they can still have content coming out in between. They can do a remake in between there, then, right? They can do a Legends series game, and they can do DLC. And each of those can come out every 4 years.
Maybe they should do like the 3rd game kind of vibe, where like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, well, it's not a 3rd game, it's still like a revamped version of the game.
Well, I feel what the replacement of that is the expansion pass, right? So Scarlet and Violet is this thing, and then we'll get DLC.
The whole game needs a haul. So I'm like, maybe just a brand new game, brand new 3rd game, like Platinum. They could fix stuff. I don't mind paying $60 again if I get to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, with a nice frame rate.
I personally don't want them to go back to just giving us like a platinum version where it's basically the same game with like some changes. Like, I'd rather they just give us the DLC. It's cheaper that way. It costs them less resources, and we still get new content.
It's using the same game, and it's like, couldn't even get through the like main game with that stuff.
Well,
now you want me to buy DLC?
So, well, my point is that whatever fixes they would do in like say an Emerald or a Platinum would basically just be would come down to patchwork anyway. Like, they can get that game to eventually run well. The question is, will they put in enough time and effort to do so once people have already bought the game? And that's where the challenge is. But if they are going to be giving us DLC, that's more reason to be continually working on the game throughout. And when all that DLC comes out, they're still going to have like a retail version where all the DLC is included. They did that with Sword and Shield. So it is kind of like still sort of like a 3rd version, right? That's how I would personally want it anyway, just because I feel like DLC is better than like getting like a Platinum. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather get new content added onto the base game. One, it's cheaper that way, it's just more content that way. So that's how I would prefer it.
I was thinking of like a 3rd game with content put into it, obviously, but just like,
I mean, Black White 2 was pretty cool because those were like direct sequels with like
those are really
1/3 of the map.
Those are one of my favorite.
Yeah, and I'm not against that either. Like, if they want to do sequels, that's cool too. You know, there's definitely money to be had there. But I guess the point is, though, between either A, doing DLC, or doing a sequel, or a 3rd version, right, or doing the Legend series, or having a remake, there's all these options they can do to still have something come out annually. But they need to do it in a way, like, they can still, I guess the ultimate point I'm making here is that Pokemon Company has tried to do things where they have a Pokemon game come out every year. Go ahead. I'm not telling them not to do that. But
they have Pokemon Snap. Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah, but those are spin-offs that will always come out regardless. Like
Yeah, that's
they're
the
gonna
thing. They
continue
need
to
to
come.
like pace it right.
The mainline games don't really relate to the spin-offs. But there's all these mainline options is the point I'm making.
And there's
And
the remakes
yeah,
of Black and White. Are they gonna remake? Do you think they're gonna remake Heart Gold and Soul Silver? Because that is a remake also.
no. I mean, that'd be nice, but
Just port that puppy and I'll buy it instantly.
well, I mean, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, right? That's kind of like a remake of a remake, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but,
so they could do they could do a Let's Go Chikorita and Cyndaquil. I'd be down.
Nah, I won't be down for that. I want Heart Gold. Just port it to the Switch.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just, I don't think like I want that too, because Heart Gold, Soul Silver are like probably my favorite versions, period. But I don't really see them doing that. If they did it though, I would buy it.
Too good of a game.
I would buy it. I'll tell you that, for sure. But the ultimate point is that they have options, and they could start spacing things out a little bit more. Now, what people will counter that with is that, hey, look, the anime has to happen every 3 years. Well, I mean, they could just write the story so it's an additional year longer. They could add an additional side story, like, for example, the Battle Frontier or Orange Islands. Like, they could just create another story that happens in between that, and that story that happens in that final year, they could start to introduce some Pokemon things to sort of start to tease the games. And they can do that. That's how they used to do it. So
yeah,
they can still do
good
that.
Memories.
Like, remember for the first Pokemon anime, like they showed off Togepi for a while, and then there was a Meryl. Like, they can do stuff like that. They kind of tease the next generation, and that's kind of exciting. And it still gives time for Game Freak to make a better game. That's how I think they should do it.
I think it goes like the games dictate the show, but now I feel like the show dictates the games. Which I don't mind.
Right. So the games are the source material, and but even though it's the source material, because it's a source material, and you have all these other things that make a lot of money, more than the games, the source material needs to come out within a certain time frame. But I feel like what they need to do is simply sort of rethink the strategy for everything else, because everything else can still work, and you could just space things out for a year. On top of that, like, you really want to create a whole generation of Pokemon every 3 years? Why not start spacing things out a little bit more? Get more bang for your buck. Like, if you created a new 100 Pokemon, why move on to another 100 Pokemon 3 years later? You know? Like, why? I feel like they should space that out a little bit more.
Without the national decks, so not all the games are gonna have all the Pokemon, so it's like, why are we even doing this?
So, and that's another point. Like, another year, right? That's another year where they have more opportunities to put in more of the Pokemon into the decks. Like, we almost got every Pokemon within one generation, but not all of them. If it was a 4-year gap where there was another kind of game, be it a DLC, a remake, a Legends game, that's one other thing they can kind of throw in there that
you could do
Arceus
again.
Show up. Yeah, like another Legends. Another Legends.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be Arceus. It might be like, I don't know, whatever you want to do it off of, but every time there's a new generation, they get more material. So there's options there. They just have to decide to do it.
It's just time.
Yeah.
Time crunches is what's killing it.
What sucks though is that if they feel like there's this fear that if they think they can get away with it, then they're gonna do it. You know, it's not a Game Freak issue.
Scarlet and Violet issue. Sold like really well. And I was just like...
Yeah, for the first 3 days, it was record-breaking. The question is, will it continue to sell? And are the issues going to impact, like, you know, just how people feel about Pokemon? Like, are people going to start to be like, oh, that was a mess, I'm not going to buy the next one? Like, do they think that the perception of the quality is going to impact future success? Nintendo does. That's why they issued that apology. And I'm sure there was some level of conversation between Nintendo executives and Pokemon Company executives as to like what's going on here. And hopefully this is a sign that there will be some efforts made to kind of adjust this. All I'm saying is, look, I understand Pokemon Company wants to make as much money as they can. Go for it. But I think there's a way you can do it where you're not like ruining your fan base. which I think eventually
Ruining
will
the game.
impact sales. You
They're
know?
ruining the actual game. Like,
Yeah.
literally. I knew it wasn't gonna be like a graphical God of War Ragnarok
We're not
beast of a
asking for
game,
that. We're just asking for the game to
but
run
it's broken.
well. Like,
The performance is like janky. You know, clipping everywhere, like the back rooms, and it's just like all over the place sometimes. At least they gave us a lot of funny, uh, glitching scenes.
yeah. So I do want to talk a little bit about the actual patch, though. So they made some adjustments in terms of frame rate. That doesn't seem to have been really worked on yet. But one big change that I noticed, I kind of talked about earlier in the week, I mentioned to you on Twitter, is that all the Pokemon in battle, when you would put them to sleep to try and catch them, they wouldn't have any sort of sleeping animation, which was really weird because, well, one, it takes away from your
sleep
immersion.
all the time.
But not in battle before the update. None of them would close their eyelids, which is weird because outside battle, yeah, Pokemon would go to sleep. So all the animations were there, but when you put them to sleep in battle, they wouldn't do it. And then in all previous Pokemon games, you would see their eyelids close.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. But after the update on December 1st, now, if you go and you try go into a battle and you put a Pokemon to sleep, you're going to see its eyelids close. You're going to see the little, like, sleeping animation, as opposed to its eyelids just being wide open and it says it's asleep. Like, that's just creepy and weird. And it was taking away from my immersion. Like, it actually bothered me. I'm glad that they fixed that. There's still a lot of issues, but to me, that's a pretty substantial improvement. Because I see it a lot because I'm actually trying to catch some Pokemon.
Do we need it now? Probably not my top priority if I was to patch that in, but I guess.
Well, it's an easy... I'm pretty sure that all the animations were there. It was just something that wasn't addressed before launch. And the frame rate thing, I'm sure, is a much bigger fix. Like, that's going to take more time and effort to work on.
Oh, yeah, it's a big patch.
Yeah.
They probably need to do.
Yeah, so, I mean,
but, like,
there's going to be more patches. Like, this isn't the last one. They're going to continue to work on this. Will it eventually get to the point where the game is flawless? Probably not. Like, I don't think the game will become flawless, but I do think there's going to be improvements.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good things about the game, and I'm just like, wasted potential. Can we, like, I want to.
Yeah.
Because if you, like, the cutscenes you mentioned, they're really nice. The ending is pretty cool. I'm not gonna spoil anything.
Please don't.
So, like, if, I want to enjoy all that stuff. But not at 15 frames, like, what?
It does ruin the experience. I was doing a gym battle last night, and then I throw out my Pokemon, and it falls into the stadium. Like, it's like in it halfway. So, like, there's a floor, and the Pokemon's in like this, as opposed to standing on it, how it should. And it was like, in a gym battle, like, it's like a cutscene. Like, it gets epic, and like the gym leader's trying to be like really cool. He's like, all right, time to terrestrialize my Pokemon, my final big play, and my Pokemon's head just like sticking out of the floor. Like,
yeah, those are more goofy, but
it's goofy, but like it takes away from the moment. So yeah, there's issues. Like, it's unfortunate, but I'm still enjoying the game, and I'm hoping there will be improvements. And if there aren't improvements, I feel like a lot of people that are having a similar experience to myself might pass the next game. But
yeah, well, I do like the characters, oddly enough.
Yeah,
I think this gen
the story kind of hits you a little hard.
They gave it more. They give the characters or rivals or friends more characters, so that's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Nothing too grand, but for a Pokemon game, I like it.
Yeah, I like what I've seen so far, and I have heard really good things once you get towards the end. But let's come back to the chat here. So Harry Myers asks, "How are you, Andres?" Well, thanks for asking, Harry. I'm okay. Right now my life is basically like this. Like, my goal is to try and make this more of a full-time thing. So what does that mean exactly? It means kind of trying to build up my viewership more, trying to get more consistent, put out more content, come up with more ideas, which are all I'm excited about. But it's also like thinking of ways to improve the channel. So I mentioned this before we went live a couple hours ago. I'm gonna try and do like call-ins. So the same way how we're having a podcast right now, I'm thinking about like introducing a segment to the show where either a patron or someone who has a YouTube membership already, like they can message me beforehand. I can plan like, you know, kind of like a 10, 15, 20-minute segment where they can jump on and we can kind of dissect whatever it is they want to go at there. And just kind of do something like that. Kind of like, you know, like a radio show, like talk show, how they have people call in. Kind of like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure, I mean, other people do it. Like, I'm pretty sure Nintendo Prime does that already. But I want to kind of try and include little things like that into the channel. And then, you know, as I build up viewership and more of a consistent release schedule, you know, I am going to look to get some sponsors. So there will be some sponsors eventually in the channel, hopefully. And if I get to that point, maybe I will continue to do this full time indefinitely. For now, it may just be for a month or two. We'll see how things go. It kind of depends on the success level, but we'll see. But anyways, like that's just kind of been my focus right now, and I really enjoy it. So I guess I'm good, you know.
That's good.
Yeah. Thank you. On that note, Joyce J added me and asked, "You look super refreshed." In parentheticals, I mean that as a compliment, not saying you look awful any other day. I appreciate that, Joycey. So, you know, not having, like, when my focus is just the channel, one, I feel more pressure to perform. So on one end, it's like, oh man, I can't use, I was working as an excuse for not being prepared. So I do have to like be more prepared, I suppose. But on the flip side, you know, I enjoy doing this, right? And I'm not like drained from doing something else. I'm not as distracted from doing something else. And that's great. On the flip side, I also think I'm trying to put a lot of pressure on myself to kind of get a lot done for the channel. Like I'm trying to come out with one major video every day, Monday through Saturday, and then something smaller at night, like every day until the weekend.
Damn.
So for me, that's kind of hard. I was able to do it last week, and you know, but I was pretty drained. I'm okay with that. I like to work hard. But you know, it can be challenging, but at least it's work that I like, right? As opposed to doing something that's soul sucking for like 12 hours a day, and then like, all right, I gotta force myself to do the podcast now because I can't give up on it, and you know, I still want to do this. Like there's a difference, for sure. So yeah, thank you for. I didn't think I would look super refreshed, but if you think I do, then that's gotta mean something. So thank you. Moving on here, I want to kind of catch up with the chat. I realize I'm probably a little behind. But Wink Demand 07, and they better have Charles Martinet voice Mario in the game. I don't think that's. I don't know. So, well, first let me clarify. I love Charles Martinet as the voice of Mario. I think that's totally fine. Now, if they decide to have him talk more regularly, I'm very curious how that'll be handled. I think it could still stay as Charles Martinet. I'm just very curious what direction they would go in. But I mean, I'm not saying it can't work. It absolutely could work. He's done other roles where he's actually done more regular voice acting. It would just be a little bit of a different feel for Mario, which is okay. I'm okay with change. Like this Mario movie is definitely something different. So, you know, I'm not against that.
It's Pratt. I actually don't mind him as much.
No?
Like, yeah, he sounds like a regular dude. I don't really like Princess Peach's voice.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little bit. When I heard it, I was like, it needs to be a little bit more high pitched. You know how? That's in my head though.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's still good. All the casting was good, especially Luigi.
Yeah, Charlie Day. Yeah, I thought that was a really good choice. Yeah, I'm very excited. I think they've honestly done a great job with the voice acting. It doesn't bother me. Like, you know, when I watched the second trailer, I didn't really stop to think, oh, that voice was weird. Oh, that was that. I just saw the trailer and was like, oh, that was cool. And I think that's how it should be. Like when you're watching an animated movie and there's voice acting, the idea behind it isn't to hear a voice and think, oh my god, that was the most impressive voice ever. That's not the idea. The idea is you listen to it, you watch it, and you're just thinking about the trailer. Like, oh, this is a really cool story. I'm super excited. The voice should match the character, and you shouldn't think for a moment about it. You should be immersed into it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, you know, and that's how I felt for the second trailer. I wasn't thinking, oh man, you know, Chris Pratt, he said, oh, let's go. Like I didn't take a moment to like argue that when I watched it at first, and afterwards, upon analysis, I thought about it, you know. But I think it was fine. Now, obviously, everyone's can react to things differently. Everyone has their own opinion, and you're perfectly entitled to that. But yeah, I don't really have any problem with it either.
Yeah, solid. I mean, you'll get used to it as time goes on. But yeah, solid voice acting all around.
I agree.
Could have been worse. Oof.
So, Wink Demand asked me, if we got a Zelda movie, do you think they would still make Link be silent? LOL.
They'll probably pull that off somehow.
I don't think that they should do that. That would be bad. I think that my cat's here, so she's distracting me. But
I did that in Breath of the Wild. I was like, oh no, he's the one. I'm used to him not talking. I think if they put a voice on Link, they're gonna have to do it like carefully.
Yeah, but like... I think they have to do it, in my opinion. Like, I don't think... I know some people are like, no, keep it silent. I think they should talk. And I'm actually hoping, this is my hope, that Link will talk in Tears of the Kingdom. Not saying, like, throughout most of the game, but, like, maybe, like, at the end. Like, he, like maybe, like, right at the end of the game, right? Like, he says... sorry.
Bye?
He says hi. No, he says, maybe that, like, he finds Zelda right at the end, he says hi. Or maybe, like, he's gonna save Zelda and he calls her out. And
that would be an epic moment. That would probably put a tear in my eye. Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, like
my boy could talk.
Wow, that would be so cool. And that's kind of like what I would want. I don't really need it to be anything substantial, but that opens the doors, right? Like, think about in Metroid Dread. You know, in Metroid Dread, how Samus had some lines. She didn't talk throughout the entire game, but there was a few moments. And those were key, powerful moments. I think for Link, when it comes to the games, if they start doing voice acting for the games, he should talk. But it should be minimal. Very sparingly in those big, powerful moments. Now, when it comes to a movie, you gotta have him talk. It's just not, it's not gonna be a good movie if he's not talking.
Some people think a live action Zelda movie. I'm like, okay, no, throw that in the garbage.
It'd be very expensive to do that. It'd be like, it would have to be like Lord of the Rings, but it'd be very hard.
No one can imitate my boy Link. I'm sorry. Fully animated, if they're gonna make one. I really hope they don't, cause I like my Zelda in my game, not in a movie. But hey, sky's the limit at this point.
I think they can do a good job. If it's live action.
No.
Yeah. We have to see it. We'd have to see it. But I'm also okay if they just keep it animated. That's fine too. Yeah. Or maybe like an anime.
I don't know how like the illumination kind of style. It probably won't work.
I don't know.
They have to do something different, but I don't really want a Legend of Zelda movie. Because
well, let me ask you a question. If they did a Metroid movie, how would you want it? Would you want it to be live action? Would you want it
that would be that would be good live action.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I guess Samus translates well to a normal female than Link to a I don't know. And plus it's a lot of sci-fi stuff. You could easily like do a live action.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'd be live action. Maybe have some CGI moments, you know, but that's like in Avengers or
like Ridley or something.
Transformers, yeah, for sure. To be frank, I do feel like, you know, if they were to do like an actual Zelda movie, I do feel like they should do live action as well. But it would have to be very whimsical, and like think like the Hobbit series, you know, kind of like that.
Yeah. I know, but it's like, just thinking about it, I'm like.
And it does depend on what direction. Like, that would be them going big. And I guess the problem is, I don't know if they will be willing to go that big. We'll see how successful this Mario movie is, and then we'll go from there. But I think eventually they should tackle Zelda. How they tackle it, well, that's a whole other conversation, but we'll come back to that another time.
Play the games.
It's just like, if the games are going from dungeon to dungeon, can you imagine a movie being good where you just go, oh, here's a dungeon, okay, let's mess with some puzzles and fight enemies, don't talk, oh, here's another one, oh, here's another one, okay, we got all three keys, let's go kill Ganondorf. Like, that's not gonna make for a good movie.
Yeah. Well, that's why gaming is a different beast altogether.
Right.
It's a different experience.
So they have to rethink how they would tell a story. So that would
They'll
be fun to
probably do
think
the
about.
classic Ganondorf, Ocarina of Time kind of vibe. That's the one
he's trying to get into the kingdom, and there's like politics involved, and we know that he's a mess, and there's some sort of an adventure to stop him. But yeah, like they could do it. It'll be interesting to see, but I don't want to dig too deep into that for now because I want to focus on other things. So maybe we'll come back to that a little bit later. E Prime Fly, also Andres. I was confused about your channel. I apologize for calling Andreas. Thank you for letting me know it's Andres. That's totally fine. Honestly, I thought you were joking, but even if you weren't, it's okay. Like, it's not a big deal. But yes, it is Andres without the extra A. Moving on here. Let's see. Having Hope 5 Link, better stay silent for as long as possible. We may disagree a little bit there, Having Hope, but I do think he should maintain being a man of few words.
Yeah.
It's also
I don't see him as a talkative type.
maybe there will never be like a Zelda movie then.
Though the Zelda manga does a really good job on like having a story where Link talks. Well, not like he talks in the manga. They did an Ocarina of Time one. It's really good. Good story. It's not canon, but
is the one that's like based like before Skyward Sword?
They have different versions. They have one for Skyward Sword, Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time. It's
I
like
know that there's one where like Volvagia was like Link's pet or something.
Ooh.
The lava dragon, the subterranean lava dragon.
Oh yeah, that's in the manga.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely ways to do it. But I'm gonna get into the chat here. Let's see. Joyce J. Collins, another place I can rant and ramble about Zelda. You should block me now. Okay, Joyce J. I'm blocking you now, JK. In fact, instead of blocking you, I just made you a moderator. Take that. Yeah. Let's see here. Semper Compellus. You need to extend beyond Nintendo. Not enough release to support a full channel. I'll show you. There's plenty of Nintendo-only channels. That content is not the problem.
Yeah, there's a bunch of content. I was telling him to do like a top list, like top favorite Nintendo.
I heard top list. I was like, well, that will definitely attract a different kind of audience.
Well, not that top 10s, top 5s.
Yeah.
And like your ranking your Zelda games or something.
Yeah.
Or your Pokemon.
Yeah, I started. I haven't done it in a while, but like there's like a little bit of like a discussion series where I like compare two different games that have some sort of similarity. Like I think I compared Mario Galaxy and Mario Odyssey, and I did that with Rob from Roll to Review, and that actually went over pretty well. So I'd love to kind of do that again. Like there's content.
Mario Sunshine would always win.
Listen to me. I have a board right here, and I'm not going to show that board because that's like giving away like my ideas. But every time I make a video, I get an idea for like 2 or 3 more videos, and like there's plenty of ideas for videos out there. It's more about, will those ideas be successful? Like, will people want to watch that, right? Will the YouTube algorithm push that out, right? Will I do a good job of conveying that concept, that concept, and like that's the real challenge. Ideas, I got tons of them. That's not the problem. So, yeah.
I keep mine in a notebook by my bed. Sometimes I have an idea, and I'm like, okay, gotta write it down.
Yeah, I like the whiteboard, because like when I record now, I stand up, because I have a standing desk now, and I just kind of like stand and record.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, the way the angles work, it looks weird if I did it on camera, but I will try and like come back to like doing like some videos on camera. It's easier just to like do it off camera. But moving on here. Let's see, moving on. All right, I see DE Fox at me. Don't forget, make her on the server too. Oh, I will forget that.
Oh, and hit that like button if you like.
Yeah, hitting the like button, that'd be appreciated, my friends. So, let's move on to the next topic here. So, I feel like we've covered the Pokemon patch thing a fair bit. We've dabbled in and out with the Mario movie stuff, but let's dive into our final predictions for the Game Awards. So, for me, the predictions I care about is just like what kind of announcements we'll see, right? But I know some people care about like what games will win what awards.
Yeah, just like announcements, the game awards could just take a back seat.
Yeah, I mean, I could look up what's nominated for what. We've talked about nominations before already in a different like discussion. So I'm not really like, I voted Xenoblade Chronicles 3 for Game of the Year, but I know it's not going to win Game of the Year.
Heck yeah. It's not, but
you know, it's my Game of the Year. Until I play Elden Ring. If I play Elden Ring, I might change my mind, but you know, and I bet
Elden Ring belongs in the trash.
Okay. You know,
I didn't have a fun experience.
I think Xenoblade 3 should win Best Score in Music, but it won't.
It should. It's really good.
Yeah, but it's just literally has Xenoblade music playing right now in the background. By the way, it's not for 3; it's for 2. Or is it 1? I don't remember. But anyway, I know it's Xenoblade music. Anyways, I'm just kind of like running through like some of the nominations here that are like Nintendo based, so I can at least say I covered nominations in this discussion. Best action game. I don't know if Bayonetta 3 should win it. I haven't finished Bayonetta 3 yet, but there's some other good ones there. But it's definitely, you know, deserves to be nominated. Best role-playing game. Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, Live Alive, and Xenoblade 3 are in this alongside Elden Ring. So it's kind of crazy. So there's 4...
Legends Arceus?
Legends Arceus is pretty good.
I mean, it was good, but...
Anyway, 4 out of the 5 nominations for Best RPG are Nintendo, which I think is really cool. But the sad part is I think Elden Ring's gonna win. Not that I'm sad for Elden Ring. I just, you know, there's 4 out of 5 is Nintendo. You would think, oh man, we control 80% of this category. We should win. No, you're not gonna. I think the only award Nintendo's gonna get is Best Family.
Most anticipated.
I hope, but I'm also skeptical of that. But we'll get to that one. Kirby and the Forgotten Land to me is the best game out of this list. It's Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars, Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. If Mario Rabbids or Splatoon 3 got it, I wouldn't be upset. But I think Kirby and the Forgotten should win this one. Like, objectively, I think it's just the best game. But, you know, Splatoon 3 is also pretty good. And then, yeah, you know what? Let's skip the rest. Let's just talk about most anticipated game, and let's get into actual predictions then. So, what do you think is going to win most anticipated game?
Tears of the Kingdom.
I wish it would. I honestly don't think it will. I hope I'm wrong. But the others that are up for nomination are Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, and Starfield. All of those games
Legacy
pretty epic.
Not belong, but I'm excited for most of them. But I think Tears of a Kingdom. I don't know. People have been waiting for a Zelda game for like ever.
So I feel like if you know me, you're not gonna interpret this wrong, right? Like, I'm a huge Zelda fan. I care more about Zelda than anything else. Video games, like Zelda's my favorite franchise. But I do feel like Nintendo has failed to really hype us up for Tears of the Kingdom so far. I don't think there's enough excitement kind of like stirring. Like you know when like the hype is
I'm
in the air.
excited. I'm ready to fly to New York, go to the Nintendo store, and wait in that damn line.
All right, then you should champion the Zelda hype. I can't do it. Like all I'm saying is
Oh,
I'm not
guys,
saying that there isn't Zelda excitement. Like I want to talk Zelda every day, but what I'm trying to argue is that I feel like the amount of Zelda excitement there is now compared to how much excitement there was for Breath of the Wild, it's significant. Like there was way more hype for Breath of the Wild at this point than there was for than there is for Tears of the Kingdom. Like that.
I mean, if
that's
the game
point.
is good, doesn't really matter how hype. The
Sure,
hype up.
you're totally
I guess
right.
for sales.
Well, I don't know. I guess part of the problem for me is that I just don't think they've shown off enough. You know?
Yeah, but I'm perfectly fine. I just want to know they're gonna do OLED for that. So I would totally buy it.
Like a Zelda Switch OLED. Yeah, I would. I think I would think it would finally fold on that one. So like, I'm kind of glad you brought that up because there's this theory that I have that there will be some sort of new hardware that comes out with Tears of the Kingdom in May. Now, I think there's a possibility that Zelda hardware is actually like just straight up Switch 2, but it might be too soon for that, right? We might have to wait till the end of 2023 or 2024 before we get the next generation Switch.
I think they would have announced it by now.
So the reason why I think they wouldn't is because Switch is still doing really well. There's no reason to announce something like that before the holidays. If it is going to come out in May, when they would announce it would be January. And some people might argue, well, that's way too quick of a turnaround. Is it though? Because the Nintendo Switch itself was announced October 20th and it released March 3rd. 5 months in a couple weeks. So if they were to announce a Switch 2 in January and it releases in May, it will be about the same time frame. And the big difference here would be that people would already understand what the concept is. They would just understand it's a more powerful Switch 2. So I definitely think they could get away with that. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I do think it's a possibility, right? So, but if it's not, I'm all for like a Zelda OLED. Like I'll be all over that. Like either way, like I'm getting some sort of new Switch with Zelda in May. Like I'm totally doing.
They better do an OLED. I skipped out on the other ones just to wait for this one. But if they have another Switch, do you think it would be like kind of like the Xbox Series S and Xbox Series X kind of difference? Like one's more beefier than the other.
Will like the base Switch still be like the Series S in this equation?
Yeah.
Yeah, kinda. Like I think it's, I don't know. I think it's gonna be weird. Like it may be the reason why maybe Nintendo waits a little bit longer, right? But I feel that Switch is gonna stay relevant for a few more years, right? Like so, even if it is Switch 2 in May, which it may not be, right? Like I'm literally just bringing that up as a possibility, right? It could be later, it could be the end of 2023 or even 2024. But if it is as early as then, my cat keeps making noise. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's bothering me. Ruby, you outside. Outside. Go. Adventure out there. Leave me alone. Thank you. Alright. So yeah, I think that if there is a Switch 2 in May, again, just a possibility, may very well not happen, but if there is, or even whenever it does, the Switch 2 does come, the Switch is still going to have games coming that are new for a while. Like, it's going to be kind of, to your point, like a Series X, Series S situation where there's a more powerful version of the Switch. Games will look and run better on this system, but if you have your current Switch, you can still play the same games, and it's still going to be able to play the same games for a few more years. So, I don't...
So it's like the new 3DS kind of vibe.
Kinda, but I think it's going to be more positioned as a next-generation system.
I don't mind, like, having a at-home console for Nintendo, and then still have my Switch to take wherever. But that might be not a good move since they already established the.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they're just gonna make a bit more powerful handheld. I mean, that handheld's old. It came out in 2017. It was based off 2015 like tech. Like they can definitely make a more powerful Switch. You know. I mean, look at the what's it called? I keep wanting to call it the Game Gear, but it's the Valve device, Steam Deck.
Steam Deck.
In my brain, it's a Game Gear. But whatever. Yeah, Game Gear is like an old Sega handheld. It was pretty bulky too. It was like that. I see we got a super chat here from Taker610. Thank you very much for the super chat, Taker. Taker says, "I hope we see Tears of the Kingdom at the Game Awards. Doesn't it have a most anticipated nomination? I think we see another trailer at very least." Yes, there is a nomination for Tears of the Kingdom as most anticipated game. We were just talking about it before I derailed things.
Build the hype. Build the hype.
I think they need to build the hype.
I'm gonna be the hype girl.
No, but the thing is, all I'm saying is that I'm not sure it will win most anticipated game because I'm not sure there's enough hype beyond the Nintendo community right now. And I could be wrong, and I hope I am, because I want Tears of the Kingdom to win. Like, even though I'm doubtful of it now, when Tears of the Kingdom does not win most anticipated game, I'm going to be disappointed. But regardless of whether it wins or not, Nintendo will start to drill up that hype. Like, that's gonna come. And a great way to do that is by telling us about the game. I think it's a big problem. They're just not telling us enough about the game.
I think they're waiting until, like, the year. Or, like, maybe the Game Awards don't announce a OLED Switch with a new trailer.
That would be
lot.
Nice. I don't think they'll do all of that. If they do it, I'll pre-order it immediately. But I do think there's a good chance we get a trailer though. Like, I think because we got Go on.
I think they're really holding off until maybe 2023, and they could be like, you know, hype up Zelda. Yeah. No, I think
they will. I think there's a good chance we get a trailer. Like, I feel more good about it now than later. Hey, listen, Jugs McGee. She wanted to leave. I let her out. She was scratching at the door to get out. I didn't kick her out. I let her out. And when she comes back to the door scratching at it again, I'm gonna let her back in. She can do what she wants, but I'm gonna complain about it. Anyways, what was I saying? I think
Tears of the Kingdom hype or lack thereof.
I think there's gonna be a buildup of hype. I would like to see them start to build it up this month with the Game Awards announcement, with a Game Awards trailer. So I think it bodes well for that. One, we got the Mario movie stuff last week, right? So that's out of the way, because that was my first prediction, that there would have been a Mario movie thing. But because we just got that last week, we don't really need to get another trailer. I wouldn't be shocked if there's something mentioned about the Mario movie at the Game Awards, but it won't be as substantial as what we got last week.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll get anything else from the Mario movie this week, or no?
I think they're good. But I was thinking of all the past games that came out, because Nintendo doesn't really do a lot of hype. Well, they kind of did for some games. I feel like with Tears of the Kingdom, they're just waiting it out so it's closer to the date.
Yeah.
And because it's not a new game or anything, everyone knows Zelda. They don't have to explain like a triangle strategy or something like that. But
sure, I would like to see a trailer at the Game Awards, and I feel like of all the things Nintendo could show off, that's what makes the most sense. Especially with the whole history of Zelda at the Game Awards. And something that I think bodes well is Nintendo is tweeting about the Game Awards. They're making us aware that Nintendo has games at the Game Awards. Jeff Keighley's tweeting about Nintendo. He's making mention of Nintendo making mention of the Game Awards. Like, there is that conversation. There is an awareness. So both Jeff Keighley and Nintendo are saying, hey, there's Nintendo stuff at the Game Awards. Pay attention. So it could just be the nominations and that's it, but if there's that conversation about it, there may be something a little bit more, right? So I'm falling into the trap again.
I think there's gonna be a Zelda trailer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Intuition,
I guess.
That's what I'm hoping for. I think it does make sense, but I want to caution people. Last year we thought we would get something and we didn't. But there is one big difference.
Yeah.
Last year when we thought we would get something, we assumed that Tears of the Kingdom wasn't getting delayed. Tears of the Kingdom probably isn't getting delayed again because they gave us a set release date for May 12th. They didn't just say, oh, sometime this year. No, they gave us like a set May 12th release date. So like they know that it's ready. So with that said, given that it has a set release date and there's a last Game Awards before the game is coming out, I do think that if there was ever a time for there to finally be a Tears of the Kingdom trailer at the Game Awards, this is it. So now or never. December 8th, this Thursday. I really hope we get some Zelda news. I'm trying to like steel myself, trying to prepare for like that disappointment, because last year we got nothing from Nintendo.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm not even sure I'm gonna stream it yet because like I don't want to go live for 3 hours and just be like, oh look, nothing Nintendo. Oh look, nothing Nintendo. Oh look, nothing Nintendo. And then at the end, I'm like, oh, that was a waste of time. Like, I'm almost like more like feeling like I should just kind of be on standby, wait until there's an announcement, and then I'll talk about it then, you know? So, that's kind of
all we could do is wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Ruby runs this whole house. She is the girl boss. She is the queen. You guys are totally right. Whatever she says goes. Jugs McGee. The only reason I'm watching the Game Awards is to win a free Steam Deck, to be honest. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
But
I feel that.
So I'm holding out hope for a Zelda trailer. It's of all the things that I think could show up, that's the thing I think that makes the most sense. So if I had to give a prediction, that is what I'm predicting, but I'm not like 100%. I'm more like 50-50 on it. Maybe even 60-40, but let's stick to 50-50 just because I don't want to set myself up for disappointment.
60-40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else though do you think we could see show up from Nintendo?
Nothing pops into mind. We might get, well, they've been showing Fire Emblem Engage like a lot already.
Yeah.
So I don't think they'll do anything there. I have no idea. I am ready to be surprised. Or let down. I don't know.
You gonna stream it?
I did stream like last year's. I was so bored.
It sucks,
I ended
right?
up reading a book on stream.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know if I can.
So bored.
I don't know if I can go through with that.
I was opening up Pokemon cards just to keep people entertained. Because I was just like, oh, it's boring. So I don't know if I'm going to stream it this year.
You know what? I have a stupid idea. Here it is. How about I do a live stream where I don't watch the Game Awards during the Game Awards, but I'll keep my tabs on Twitter, and if something happens, there we go. Like I don't know what I'll stream about on Thursday, but I'll be like, hey, guys, let's just talk about something else. Let's play games.
I was thinking of playing a game and having it on the side, because most of it's just filler. And when something big happens, I could just change the scene. But yeah.
Joyce J, we have the Game Awards on the corner, and we all play Splatoon.
Yeah, that sounds like a party.
Maybe. My only concern is that I don't really do like Let's Play streams, and I feel like I don't know, it's not really like the channel's brand, so I'm kind of concerned about doing something I don't do.
You can list it once it's over.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I will think on it. Maybe something will come up a bit. Well, I'll do something fun. Like maybe it'll be like, oh, let's break Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Like we'll just do our best to like glitch the hell out of the game. I don't know.
Shiny hunting. Anything. The Game Awards are boring. Yeah.
By shining hunting, do you mean running aimlessly, not finding shinies for 3 hours? Because I could do that.
I mean, there's a technique, I think.
There are some things, but I think you have to catch. There's ways to improve your chances. Like I think if you complete your Pokédex, that improves your chances. But like, I don't I'm not there. I'm not gonna finish it. I can't. There's no way I could even if I tried between now and then. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see on what we do Thursday. I just don't think it's a good idea to watch that presentation and just be bored for 3 hours.
Yeah, no.
No. I am not against the idea of streaming something on Thursday, and just to Joyce's point, maybe have it on in the background, or not. You know, I don't even want to have it on in the background. I just want to be like doing something, and then one of you guys is like, "Yo, guess what? There's a Zelda trailer," and I'll be like, "Holy shit! There's a Zelda trailer! Let's react to it right now." Like, that's what I would be willing to do. You know. Now what we
you
do.
can have it playing on your TV. Because it's in the background. Maybe you'll be like, that's playing and...
Maybe.
But then how are you gonna do a game? Nah, that's a bad idea.
Well, I mean, I could, I don't know. I need to, well, there is this other monitor here.
You have
Yeah,
another
but-
monitor just sitting there?
Yeah. But it's the angle. I have to be like looking up the whole time. It'll look kind of awkward.
Oh, you have
No, Joycey J. This channel is not for children. It's for adults. I'm allowed to use words that aren't always PG. I just do it sparingly. So, yeah.
Wait, what cuss word did you say? I
don't even know.
You're...
I don't remember. Sasquatch.
Said the S word.
Sap.
Oh.
Supple.
Oh, okay, I think.
Slytherin. Stupid. I don't remember. Does it rhyme with pit?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. There you go.
I think. I don't
Yeah.
know. You can always go back.
Nah, I probably said shit. I don't remember. Anyway, let's move on. I mean, what else could be at the Game Awards? Like, I think there could be a small announcement. Maybe we get like more. Maybe Fire Emblem shows up. I doubt it. But like some sort of trailer for some DLC. Maybe, like, that's possible. Like maybe Xenoblade 3 could get a DLC trailer. Like that could see like an update on that is possible, especially because it has so many nominations. Like that makes sense. Otherwise, I'm kind of like, you know. Oh, you know, it'd be fun if yeah, like what if Joyce J is saying like it'd be fun if you and a few other YouTube folk could stream together. Like what if we just played Among Us for like 2 or 3 hours?
I remember streaming that, and I forgot to mute my audio, so they all heard my vicious plan of killing them all. They're like, Mandy, your audio is still off, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe there's some way to kind of make a fun like little streaming event out of it. You know, I might have a couple of drinks or something. It's just kind of like very laid back, chill. You know, do something that'll be fun. That'll be a little out of the ordinary. And I just don't care about the Game Awards. I do not want to sit through that for 3 hours. It's not good. I know. Put it this way: even if Tears of the Kingdom is going to show up, it's still going to be a bad time. Like it's not going to be fun for me. It'll be fun for that moment, and it'll be fun afterwards talking about it. But everything before then, it's just going to be kind of like, oh, not Zelda. Oh, not Zelda. Oh, not Zelda. Metroid? No. F-Zero? No. It's just another Fast and Furious movie.
F-Zero? What the heck?
I will
That's
hold out
moldy.
hope. I'm never giving up on F-Zero. So, you know.
I think Nintendo gave up on it. I haven't heard any F-Zero.
Well, actually, there is a rumor that an F-Zero is on the way. It might just be a remaster of F-Zero GX, but I'd be totally okay with that.
I mean, yeah, because most people don't even know what F-Zero is.
Right.
So they
It's
kind of have to
time-
reintroduce it.
It's time for a new generation of F-Zero fans that are just hyped and obsessed with the incredible speed. Exactly. FICO matter. F-Zero is the game we deserve. Johnny Hernandez, what about Metroid Prime 4? My mind would be blown if they showed Metroid Prime 4 off at the Game Awards, but I do not believe for even a moment that that's going to show up there. Not even a moment.
I understand.
I think before Prime 4 we see Metroid Prime Remaster, and And again, that is a rumor
The
though,
whole
right? So
trilogy? Yeah.
I don't know if we even get the whole trilogy, but you know,
Um,
I don't. I'm
I was
not.
thinking maybe a Wind Waker Twilight Princess, port. I don't think they'll do a whole announcement like that for
When do you
that.
think they would come out?
I don't know, but I want it real bad.
Yeah, because like actually today
That's
I put
the
out a
only
video
thing.
and I was kind of like talking about like because like March, like we've had a major game from Nintendo, like some sort of like exclusive, timed exclusive something, come out every March throughout the entire Switch era. But this March 2023, we have nothing. So March 2017, we had Breath of the Wild. March 2018, we had Kirby Star Allies.
Isn't that long?
Yeah. 2019.
God dang.
I forget what it was. I'm looking it up now. Yoshi's Crafted World came out then. And then in 2020 it was Animal Crossing. In 2021 it was Monster Hunter. And then in 2022 it was Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like there's always been something.
Monster Hunter's good.
Yeah, it's
Have
amazing.
you played Monster Hunter?
Yeah, I have. I love Monster Hunter.
Are you good?
I'm not good. I'm okay. Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't.
I'm addicted to playing that game.
I haven't beaten the main campaign yet because I was gonna play with a friend, but then that got derailed, so I didn't finish it. Like I was steaming through, but I slowed down intentionally because I wanted to play with a friend. That didn't happen, and then Sunbreak came out. And I haven't played Sunbreak yet, so my intention is to eventually go back. You know what I'm gonna do? Probably after I beat Pokemon. Oh, but then I have the Bayonetta series. I don't know. At some point between now and January, I'll get through Pokemon, maybe the Bayonetta games, and then I'll kind of finish up on Monster Hunter. But that's another thing we could do. Maybe like a Monster Hunter like hunt would be fun.
Yeah, I like to go hard in that game, so like I'm addicted. I've played so many. I think I have over 200 hours.
I probably have like
where's
80.
my life?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did the whole campaign, and then Sunbreak, and then grinding. I love that game.
Yeah,
Anyways, well,
big Monster Hunter fan, so. Taker610 didn't at me. I actually provided another super chat. Thank you, Taker. Taker says, I'd love to see another Punch Out and Wave Race. Yes! Yes! Give me another Wave Race. Give me another Punch Out. Yeah, I would love that. What's weird about Punch Out is that ARMS kind of like sort of fits like a similar sort of like genre there. But, you know, the same way there can be multiple racers, why can't there be multiple like boxers? Like boxing games from Nintendo.
Oh yeah. If they remade Punch Out, they would have technology on their side. So they could have a roster.
Yeah, I'd be down for like even like a remastered Punch Out from Nintendo Wii. Like that would be cool. I would take that.
I don't know what Wave Race is though.
My god. Do you have Nintendo Online expansion pack? Where you can play the N64 games? So go to that. There's a game called Wave Race 64. Play it. Live happily ever after. It's actually kind of hard, but it's really fun. Wave Race, yeah, it's basically like it's a racer that you play on jet skis. That's it. But it's cool because it's like more about
jet skis.
Yeah, like on a jet ski.
Oh, like wave. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
You race. You race through waves. Yeah. The game, it's unique because it's a kind of, you have to sort of like balance yourself on the waves. Like it's kind of like navigating waves and like the physics of that while also trying to get first and go within the buoys, because you kind of have to like go through like certain like posts. Like there's like buoys that you have to like go around. If you don't, you can lose. But I love Wave Race. It's a good time. Yeah, so check it out. Ooh, shots fired. Jugsy says, Andres, don't listen to Mandy. Me and a couple of others have to carry her. Lol JK.
What?
He said lol JK though.
Yeah, LOJK for real. I was the one carrying them. All of them.
You know, there's a way to find this out. Mandy has her own YouTube channel where she streams games and makes videos.
I usually play off stream.
Okay.
I usually play with friends off stream.
Okay.
Or with them.
Are there any streams where you are carrying your team?
Probably, yeah. I always carry them.
Okay.
I just lie to myself.
Okay.
Not always, but most of the time.
Okay. Well, there is her channel. You can at least follow her and make sure to check out her channel. Landon Jimenez asks, "You think it's too early for Splatoon 3 DLC trailer? It's something that could still get a good amount of people hyped if there's Tears of the Kingdom or something." I just don't see, like, if by DLC trailer you mean like the paid DLC, I don't think that's getting announced until maybe February in a direct. And they've been kind of uploading like little trailers on Twitter and stuff about like updates for Splatoon. So I don't really expect that to show up at the Game Awards.
They recently had a huge update.
Yeah.
It's the chill season.
Yeah, exactly.
They have new weapons, clothes, and all that stuff.
Right.
Pretty cool. And a new salmon run.
Yeah,
extra big salmon run or something.
I don't know what they're doing in it, but I need to get back to Splatoon 3, but I've been distracted playing other games and just life and work and stuff. But oh my God, Jokes McGee, he just said my poor aching back. Who's carrying who? Yeah, but anyway, to Mandy's point, like they've kind of already made DLC announcements. So unless you're talking about the paid DLC, I don't think they'll do that. And the paid DLC, like, maybe it's possible they announce at the Game Awards, but I really feel like most likely they're gonna save that for like a Nintendo Direct announcement. It just doesn't seem to really fit the audience of the Game Awards. Same thing for Fire Emblem. Even though that game hasn't come out yet, we've been getting kind of continual like updates on the game on social media already. So I feel like just having another at the Game Awards isn't really like out of the ordinary. So I'm not really expecting that either. It would have to be something that's like not really talked about on Nintendo's social media channels right now. Tears of the Kingdom is kind of like the big one.
Up.
Yeah. Maybe they could show off Metroid Prime Remaster, but I don't expect that. I don't think it's super likely. Yeah. I mean, really, it's kind of like the only thing I can think is Xenoblade 3 DLC because they haven't really been talking about it. And like if they want to give us like a teaser for the story trailer, they could do that then. But I also feel like it has a pretty good chance to just they probably will wait for that as well until like a direct.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Hernandez, there's a Nintendo maintenance happening on Thursday, December 8th. I mean, okay. So, you know what's something they could do? Actually, they could announce GoldenEye. GoldenEye could come out.
No.
Yeah. They could be like, hey, GoldenEye is now available on Switch. Check it out. Like, they could do something like that. And that would excite a lot of people because GoldenEye is kind of mainstream. Like, there's a lot of people that don't normally pay attention to Nintendo that would be paying attention to at the Game Awards. They'd be like, oh, GoldenEye, okay, maybe I'll subscribe to this, or maybe I'll just fire up my Switch. I haven't used it in a while. Like, that I could kind of see. It would be an unusual time to show off an N64 game because you wouldn't expect them to show off an N64 game at the Game Awards. But if there's one N64 game they might, it would be GoldenEye. Yeah, so, you know, that's kind of, I think, I think we just gotta pin all our hope on Tears of the Kingdom. Like, that's kind of, like, where I stand. Like, there's other small possibilities, but, like, Tears of the Kingdom is, like, kind of, like, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Landon Jimenez, yeah, definitely. I was meaning the paid DLC for sure. I know they just came out with Chill Season and Big Run is coming soon. Just my wish would bring one to know anything about the DLC. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, I would love to see that too, but I do feel like they'll probably just show that off in a direct in February. Ooh, that would be really cool. So I read this in my head, but I'm gonna read it out loud. So Joycey J read, "Wait, hear me out. Nintendo maintenance will be an update to Breath of the Wild, where we have a new side quest to find the new trailer." That'd be funny.
That would be fun.
But like,
That's a
what if
good
they
idea.
did? What if they did up like literally update Breath of the Wild where we can go in and there's some sort of like Tears of the Kingdom like teaser in there? That would be really cool. I really don't think they'll do it, but it would be a unique way to get fans excited. I'll say that.
Yeah, but I think they'll just do a. Maybe they'll just shadow drop it on Twitter. I don't know. They've been doing that a lot.
Like a trailer for Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, like out of nowhere, boom.
They might, but
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
because it's so major, they won't.
Yeah, I know that. They never done that with like Mario or Zelda.
Yeah.
They've done it with other games, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
stop it.
Now, trying to think. There are things that could be announced at the Game Awards that I think would be awesome, but I just don't think they'll do it then. Like, maybe they could announce a Kid Icarus remake, maybe a F-Zero, like, they could do those things, I don't expect it. Metroid Prime Remaster has a chance, but I think it's kind of slim to none. And then Tears of the Kingdom is, like, the only
Game
one that,
Awards,
yeah.
so they don't make much announcements.
They probably won't make any new game announcements. Like, it's unlikely. It's happened, but when it's happened, it's been third-party kind of games. Like, the two, like, new game announcements we've seen at the Game Awards from Nintendo that I can think of are Bayonetta 3 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Two solid exclusives for Switch, but they weren't from Nintendo. They were published by Nintendo, made by a third-party developer. So, like, I could see something like that. I don't know what that would be, but that would be kind of like that I could kind of see getting announced at the Game Awards maybe. And as we've said like 20 times already, a Tears of the Kingdom trailer. So it's either that stuff or nothing. That's kind of where I'm at, and that's kind of why I don't really want to stream the show, because I just don't think there's gonna be a lot of Nintendo announcements. There might be one or two, but you know,
Last year there was none.
Right.
I was like, I sat through 4 hours of things for nothing.
Literally nothing. It was the first year in the entire Switch era we got nothing announced at the Game Awards, just a couple commercials, and I just can't do that to myself or you guys again. No. So if I stream, it's gonna be something a little out of the ordinary. It'll be like waiting to do a reaction, not paying attention to the Game Awards stream, something like that. But we'll see. If you guys have ideas, feel free to share with me in the comments. But like something like a fun stream idea for sure, let me know. But before we close things out here, let's take a little bit of a few more moments to kind of talk about the Mario movie trailer again. We talked about some stuff, but I feel like we can dig a little deeper. So you know, we kind of talked about the voice acting. You know, we're both on the same page on there. It's solid. But like, how did you just kind of feel about like the roles each character seems to be taking? Right, like, you know, Donkey Kong is kind of like the champion of the Kongs, right? Like Peach is a very like powerful princess who's leading.
Oh yeah, they actually put story onto her. Thank you, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know, something that I actually kind of like, and I feel like what they're doing makes more sense, is that what you may have noticed is that Luigi kind of feels like more of the damsel in distress, right? Like, it seems like Mario's reason is to save his brother, right? Like, I think they're going to establish that they have a good brotherly bond, and they're going to get separated. And Mario's goal is to find Luigi. But Peach's goal is to save her kingdom, and their goals are going to align. And throughout the story...
In Luigi's character,
yeah,
it matches because he's more of a... Like, if you ever played the Mario and Luigi games on the 3DS, you'll know. They have that brotherly bond. It's actually pretty cute.
Yeah, like, I love the Luigi Mansion games because you get to see Luigi in his full, like, I'm terrified, but I'm still gonna do this to save my brother. You know, that...
And everybody else.
And everybody else.
My brother.
The first game, it was just his brother. Like, you know, it's cute. But, so, you know, I appreciate the brotherly love. I have a brother. Like, I kind of relate to that. So, you know, I think that, yeah, we're gonna see the storyline. He's trying to save his brother, and then Peach trying to save the kingdom, but they're gonna be traveling together. I think what we're gonna see is we're gonna actually see a romance between them. I'm not saying they're gonna like make out, but like I think
yeah, no, it's
I don't know, maybe like a pop kiss right at the end or something.
Yeah, Kiss on the cheek.
some sort of like it might be more of like an implied romance at the end, right? But like there will be like a relationship between them that will build, and that's gonna be exciting because we've never really gotten to see Mario and Peach like spend a lot of time together in the games and build that relationship. We just kind of have like we assume that relationship, right? But we never actually have seen it built before, and this movie has that opportunity to build it. We know they're gonna have a lot of scenes together, traveling alongside of each other. That's gonna be really cool to see.
I did like Toad.
Yeah.
Whoever voices him is hilarious. I'm
Very
like,
well fleshed
that's a
out.
Toad. I was like, yeah. And he seems to be, I don't know what the Toad's name is, just Toad number 1. He seems to have like a personality too.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I love Toads. Cat and Toad.
I think that one's
best game.
Voiced by what? Michael Key.
But Peach had her own game. It's one of my favorites. It's on the DS, and that was Super Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that game. I still have it. It's just so good. Hopefully we get a Super Princess Peach 2. I doubt it, but hey, you never know.
The cool thing is with Peach taking such a prominent role here, it kind of opens the door for more people to buy like a more Peach-centered game. So, I'm down. Like what if the next 2D Mario isn't 2D Mario, but it's just like Super Princess Peach 2 or something, It's just
I would totally love that.
I would be interested.
No, I think if they're gonna make a sequel to the movie, it'll probably have Rosalina. That's what they always do.
Apparently there's like maybe like a Luma. There's like a Luma toy, and so people are wondering if like there's gonna be Lumas in the Mario movie. I wonder.
It'd be like a reference.
Yeah. Another interesting thing is that in the trailer, Peach does talk about universes and galaxies, which is like, oh, okay, so there's gonna be like a Mario Galaxy reference. Or like, how deep are they gonna go with the galaxy stuff? So it'd be interesting if that's somehow referenced. But I totally agree with you that like if you want to go like for a sequel, bringing in like Rosalina and going in the galaxy direction would be a cool way to kind of go.
Daisy's in the movie. I doubt it.
Well, the thing is, Luigi needs to be saved right now, right? But maybe at the end, right? Like there's like Luigi's like sees like Mario and Peach is like, oh, good for them, and then there's like a Daisy that kind of like pops up, and then people are like, oh, Luigi and Daisy, like it just something like that.
I don't think in any of the games, except for the party games, Mario and Daisy were ever together. I don't know how to
Mario and Daisy.
Oh, sorry, Luigi and Daisy.
Oh my gosh, scandalous. Well, I think there was a Mario game, it was a Super Mario Land, where I think Mario was like trying to find Daisy and not Peach.
That's the second game?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, I had a lot of desert stuff.
Trying to Super Mario Land. I think it's for the Game Boy. There it is. Yeah, Super Mario Land. This is the one I was looking for. I think it's Daisy, or is it like Petunia? I don't.
What about
It is Daisy.
Paulina? Paldea?
Paulina is in the movie. There's one of the posters you can see. Well, actually, I think that's like. Nah, I'm not supposed to talk about that. But apparently, there is a shot somewhere on the internet that seems to suggest that Rosalina, or someone that looks like Rosalina, is in the movie.
That'll be a lot of characters. Because they have Mario Kart going on too. I'm like, oh my.
By the way,
are we gonna get a new Mario Kart game? Are we, Nintendo?
There is some Nintendo stuff that does suggest that Luigi and Daisy are kind of like the pair up. Let me show you
remember one of the courses in the GameCube Double Dash Mario Kart.
Look at this.
They had a statue together.
Like the NES Open has Daisy and Luigi together, and Princess Toadstool.
Just assumed they were a pair.
Yeah. So, it's something. There's
Princess for each of them.
Mm-hmm. So, Super Mario Land on Game Boy, yeah. Yeah.
I need some Mario lore.
Alright, but, you know, I feel like, pretty much near the end. Is there any final thoughts on the Mario movie you want to bring up before we close things out? Guys, if is there anything else you want to ask or you want to have be addressed, bringing it up now, you have a few moments.
What about Yoshi? I don't know. I'm just putting a bunch of characters.
So we actually did see a shot in the trailer where there were Yoshis kind of running through. So we'll see Yoshis. I don't know if we'll sit on if they'll be riding Yoshis or they'll play with them, but we're at least gonna see them at one point or another in the movie.
Oh, Mario should do the thing where he jumps off and leaves Yoshi to fall.
Oh my god. I don't think we're gonna see that.
Yeah.
If anything, I could see a role reversal where Yoshi does that to Mario. I could see that.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
Subversion.
Yeah. Yep. So, let me see here. Is there anything I missed? Yeah, I agree. I'm looking back at some chats from earlier. The bigger reality was saying the last year Game Awards is very lackluster. I agree it was. So that's one of the reasons why I'm just not like all in on this one. But you know, I haven't given up all hope. But yeah, I think we've pretty much reached the end of the discussion. I see we got another super chat here from Taker, so thank you for that, Taker. We'll check that out here. Let's see. Imagine if we see new hardware announcement in January and we get the first footage of Metroid Prime 4 next Mario at the February Direct, both new console exclusives.
Yeah.
That would be intense, and I would buy the hell out of it. So, you know, I'd be down. I'd be super down. I don't really believe that's gonna happen. I just don't. I don't think so. Now, I mean, it would be cool. Like, it'd be so cool. Like, I think if Tears of the Kingdom is gonna be that launch title, in May, then there will be an event in January. I do believe that. But that comes down to if it's happening in May, and it may not. So hypothetically, let's say Tears of the Kingdom is releasing with Switch 2 in May, which again, it may not. I feel like some people are gonna hear me say, like, hey, you said. No, I didn't. But anyway, if that happened, could they have a presentation where they kind of show off that and Prime 4 and Mario? Like, obviously Nintendo could. They have something for Mario ready. They're working on something Mario. They're working on something Metro. They're working on something something like they could show all three off tomorrow if they really wanted to. It might not look right, but they could show something and they could get us really excited. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna keep it close to their chest until it's the right time for it. And while it might be exciting to kind of think about a Mario game and a Metroid game made strictly for a next generation system, I don't think they're going to completely alienate Switch fans. It's too large of a consumer base to just move on like that, cold turkey. And not right now with it being so active. Which is why some people think that maybe we won't see a new Switch until next year. I mean, by next year, I mean 2024, not 2023. So, you know, that's something else to consider. But, for sure, I'll say this. Metroid Prime 4 is not coming out next year. I don't believe that at all. I think it's the earliest you see is 2024. I mean, I think it's coming out 2024. That's my belief. And I think that mainly because I believe there will be a Prime remake before that comes out. I think that's coming out next year, and then we get Prime 4. So, regardless, though, let's hypothetically say there was like this kind of presentation. They could tease Mario and Metroid, like just to get us excited about, just to show off what the system can do. And they launch Tears of the Kingdom in May, and then the Mario comes out in the Christmas, and then Prime 4. It's just we got a teaser for it, but we don't see it come out till the next year. Like, it's possible, but I don't see them being like straight up console exclusives. I think they'd be like simultaneous releases, assuming the system comes out next year. D Fox.
Possible.
Anything's possible. D Fox added me Metro Prime for 2024 at the earliest. We agree there. Zelda fan film channel. I hope you like my post that I tagged you in on my channel about your channel. I hope you check it out soon and let me know. Where was it on? Was it on Twitter or I'll look at my notifications, but I'll check it out. Johnny Hernandez. Remember the rumor about Nintendo releasing more powerful Nintendo Switch at the end of the year? No. There's been a lot of kind of like speculation and talk about stuff like that. I know there was like the Switch Pro stuff. I do feel like I do think Nintendo's getting new hardware ready. It's just kind of like when they come out with it, and then I do think next year there's a good chance. But some people seem to have moved on from the thinking and think it's just gonna be 2024. It really just kind of depends on how Nintendo wants to position and handle things. Because if they want to have more of a cold turkey transition, then waiting until 2024 makes more sense. But they want things to be where they come out. If they were to come out this year and like the games are on both systems, like then they do it this year, right? But if they want to do a cold turkey transition where it's just there's no games are exclusive to the next generation system from the get-go, then they wait at least until 2024. But we'll see what happens. But that's all for now, guys. Any final thoughts, Mandy?
Good. Just excited.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a lot to be excited about for sure. It's gonna be a fun week, you know. Even if whatever happens on Thursday is gonna be a snooze fest, there's still gonna be fun things to talk about and enjoy. So don't you worry. We'll be here on YouTube. But thanks guys for watching. If you could leave a like, that'd be greatly appreciated. And more importantly, make sure to check out Mandy's channel. It is linked in the description below. Check her out, give her a subscribe, watch her content. It's awesome. But we'll see you all really soon. Take care.
Bye.